So for the best viewing experience, we suggest that in the upper right-hand corner that you click speaker view. It's next to the little box up in your corner. And that way you will see the speaker when they speak. Okay, so as president of Washington County Kids, I want to thank you very much for participating in our first Care Expo. And it's actually the second edition of that because we started last night for Western Washington County. And this one is for Beaverton, Aloha, Bethany, those areas. We are excited to host this virtual event to support families and providers in Washington County, and we're thrilled that you're sharing it with us. Washington County Kids is a coalition of individuals and organizations who are working to increase access for kids to out-of-school time programs, and that includes early childhood, after school, and summer. Our mission is to ensure access to quality out-of-school time programs that equip Washington County children and youth for success. We are dedicated to this goal because these programs increase the success of kids both academically and in their future careers. Our activities include the opportunity for providers to work together, training for providers and their staff to increase program quality, and information to assist families. We are committed to seeking solutions that will continue to meet the needs of our community and our providers. We are pleased to announce that we have been awarded a 2-year grant of approximately $20,000 per year from Meyer Memorial Trust to build capacity to increase equity in the county. And with this funding, we have been able to contract with Shari Getz, whom you've already met or will meet later, to provide creative solutions and event support. This event was originally planned to be in person to bring providers and families together. However, obviously that was not possible. And things are still in flux for schools and for many providers as well. But this event gives an opportunity to you to get acquainted and for providers to be able to tell you about what they do and for families to learn more about providers. You will be sent an invitation after the event to provide feedback so we can serve you better in the future. You will also receive 2 handouts of fun activities from Creativity HQ and also Math Gamers. And with your support, we can continue to expand our work to help kids in our community be successful. Thank you again for your participation. And now just to go over the agenda a little bit, we will introduce coordinators, people who have volunteered from our organization and other organizations to help you out. We will have an overview of regulations by Evan Weaver from the county. We will also introduce providers, and each will give a brief overview of about 2 to 3 minutes each to tell about their program. And then we will have a question and answer session, and once again ask you to give evaluation feedback. And in between, we will be doing door prizes where we will randomly select people from families who have signed up to participate in our event. So the coordinators tonight are myself, president of Washington County Kids, Maureen Barnhart, she'll wave a hand here, who is on our board. Eliseo Flores, who's a board member also for Washington County Kids, and is the Education Program Director at Centro Cultural de Washington County. Shari Getz, who's the founder and owner of Creativity HQ. Karen Henkemeyer, who is on the Child Care Resource and Referral for Community Action. Martha Mesa, whom you've already met, who is our translator for this evening, and we greatly appreciate her. and then Cara Wood, who has been our intern throughout the spring and summer. And she is also a student at Lewis and Clark, and will be returning there. So 211 Info provides childcare information and referral. And so Kelly Wells, who's with us tonight, you can wave your hand, is also helping out to provide information tonight as well. And now we will hear from Evan Weaver, who's the Interim Director of the Children, Youth, and Families Division of the Health and Human Services Department for Washington County. So Evan, you can start in.
Yes, thank you, Katie. Thank everybody for joining today. So I'm going to spend a few minutes just going over the regulation, health and safety standard environment that child care providers and after-school providers are operating within. As I go through these, I ask people to keep in mind that regulations are kind of under a constant state of revision from the Oregon Health Authority, and the Oregon Health Authority is communicating with providers to better understand what the environment looks like and how best to serve families and kids. So there may be things that change by the time your child actually enters a program, and I have a link at the end of this presentation for the Oregon Health Authority's website where you can dig into the details of care regulations if you're so interested to do so. So if we look at some of the basic things that will be common across all providers, and probably one of the biggest questions, if we go to the next slide, which is what happens if a staff member or another child in my kids program has COVID-19? What's the standards? How would I be notified? All those kinds of questions. First thing to know is it's the provider's responsibility to contact the local public health office. So in this instance, it would be Washington County inside Health and Human Services. We have a team that's doing contact tracing and COVID-19 assessment. And so the provider would contact them. They would have a conversation with the local public health offices about what steps needed to be taken. Steps might include reaching out to all the individuals who are in the program, letting them know that there was a case, the case was confirmed, and then for individuals who had interactions, so if there was a, let's say in the instance of there was a confirmed case with a child, and perhaps that child spent a lot of time with your child as well, they might contact you and let you know that there had been exposure, and might want to follow up and understand who else you had been in contact with potentially. The other thing that they would make a recommendation to the provider on is whether they needed to cancel or pause service depending on the seriousness of the event, or if they could continue as is, but then asking that the impacted children or staff stay home. Certain things that you'll probably come in contact with that may be different is a higher level of record keeping in terms of making sure that people are signing in, signing out. That's obviously very, very important for tracing purposes, screening for symptoms, like things like a persistent cough or high-grade fever. These are things that will be communicated to you as a parent that likely don't, please don't bring your child if you have these symptoms or if they're showing these symptoms. And like I said, potential cancellation or closure of the program. And so that's kind of the big one, which is confirmed cases of COVID-19. And one thing I want people to be really clear on is this is not a situation where it's hearsay where, oh, well, I heard that Nancy came in yesterday and she was kind of sick. I really am concerned now that my kid has been exposed. If there's a confirmed case, the public health office will know about it, and then they will be making the appropriate steps. So if your child is coming in close contact with somebody who had a confirmed case of COVID-19, you will get notification either through the local public health office or more likely through the provider. If we go to the next slide, we'll see some best practices that you're likely to experience. And again, these will vary depending on the age ranges of the children who are in the program and also where the program is being hosted. So if it's, largely an outside program, like soccer camps, basketball, things like that will look different than a program that's primarily indoors. So in general, what we want to see is stable groups of kids. So that means, if you were in a program where your child would typically move around between different groups of kids, lots of mixing, that's something that's going to be going to be altered a little bit. You're going to want to see the same kids be together as much as possible. Again, that's to reduce the likelihood of transmission. For younger grades, we're still looking at very small groups of kids, 10 or less, and there are some revisions coming out for younger children, preschool age and below, but those are not out yet. For school age, the emphasis is more on the space between kids, and so the number of children in a program is more dictated by how much space you have. So if you have really large space, you can have some more kids in there. If you have a very small space, that's going to limit how many children can be served. Same thing for outside. If you're outside, obviously you can do a lot more with kids, but even then, you don't want to have massive groups of people getting together, even if you are outside. From a face covering standpoint, what you can expect is that everybody will largely be asked to wear a face covering of some sort. For those who are very young, the requirement is not as strong, but in particularly there needs to be supervision for young children wearing masks in case they need support getting it on and off, or just making sure they can breathe well and that they're not somehow trading masks or whatever else can happen with young kids. And the staff obviously will be wearing face masks at all times, unless there's a valid reason for them to be taking it off to communicate or whatever it is. Social distancing, everybody's very familiar with this now, I think. So trying to maintain that 6-foot distance as much as possible. Again, eliminating large group activities. And this is something I didn't mention in the cohort piece I'll talk about now, which is staff. Ideally staff will kind of stay with a stable group of kids throughout the day of the program. We understand that's not always feasible. And so when staff do have to move between groups for whatever reason, ask those staff members take a lot of precautions around sanitization, washing their hands, things like that. And finally, the thing that you'll notice maybe as a parent or caregiver is a much greater emphasis on cleaning inside the facility. Cleaning multiple times a day, particularly on high touch surfaces like, doors, and if there's any kind of kitchen facilities in there, vehicles, things like that. You'd be aware there's going to be a lot more cleaning occurring. And so that's also going to eat into staff's time in terms of how you may see schedule impacted because of the need to clean throughout the course of a day. And then there's been guidance given around soft toys, like baby toys, plush toys, just generally trying not to use those as much as possible. Last slide here, we can see, just for those of you who are really interested and have concerns, if we go to the next slide, you'll see that there's some links provided where you can go to the Oregon Health Authority's website, and that's that first link in blue there. They have a lot of really good resources. The information is detailed and clear, so it's relatively easy to read. And I would say if you're somebody who has a lot of questions or has some concerns going into this, highly encourage you to look at the resources available on the Health Authority's website, because it gives you a really good sense of the level of care and effort that people are putting into keeping everyone safe. I know we're going to collect questions as we go for a Q&A later, and as I mentioned, there are going to be new standards that are coming out very soon. And so, as I mentioned, this is what we know for now. Things can shift, and providers will be shifting along with the guidelines as they're developed. And as people have questions, we'll respond to those, I think, during the Q&A section later in this meeting. So thank you everybody for your time and attention.
Thank you very much, Evan. So now we're going to be having our providers present some information about each of their programs. And first of all, Saturday Academy, and that is actually Sandy who's going to, you can go ahead and introduce yourself, Sandy. And sorry,
All
I didn't
right.
know your name.
That's okay. My name is Sandy. I'm the classes coordinator for Saturday Academy. I'm fairly new to the organization. I've been here since the end of March, so I'm happy to be here tonight to tell you a little bit about Saturday Academy. We're a nonprofit, and our mission is to provide wide access to hands-on learning for diverse students in grades 2 through 12 in the areas of science, technology, engineering, art, and math, or STEAM, if you want to use that term as well. We've been doing this for 37 years throughout Oregon and Southwest Washington. What makes us a little different from some other STEAM education providers is that we're really focused on providing a hands-on interactive experience for our students and really engaging their curiosity. And also all our instructors are experts in the field. So if your child is taking an engineering class, you can pretty much guarantee that our teacher is also an engineer as well. So let's see. Our programs for fall are going to be totally online. So we've made a quick pivot this summer to make sure all our classes are online. That does limit our grade levels a little bit. So right now we're providing classes for 6th through 8th grade and also 9th through 12th grade. And so for the fall, we have a lot of cool classes coming up. We're going to be planning engineering, computer tech, arts, writing, college prep class. We'll have math classes and digital and visual arts classes as well. And let's see. So we also provide over $100,000 in financial aid assistance annually to students that register for our classes. And that's a super easy process to do online. It goes right in with the registration, so there's no need to fill out any other paperwork. And it's calculated before payment is needed. So that makes it pretty easy and convenient for our families. We're also able to apply needed equipment for any of our classes as well. So that's kind of a nice option too. Let's see, I think that's about it.
All right, thank you very much, Sandy. So Shari, you're next. You're on mute.
Okay, here I am. Hi, everybody. My name is Shari, and I am with Creativity HQ. I'm the founder and creator of it. And I believe that people who engage in, children particularly, who engage in music and the arts and storytelling of any kind, develop really important life skills that they use throughout their schooling, with social interactions, and throughout their life. I believe if we explore the arts and think creatively, we can change the world. People think sometimes that if they can't draw, they're not creative, but I do not agree with that. I believe that creativity is really about taking different ideas that are sometimes seemingly unrelated and putting them together into something new. It's problem solving, and that's pretty much where I come in. I want to help children think outside the box, give them the tools they need to do that. We are thrown into the workforce and told to do that, but we really don't have what we need to be able to think creatively. And my background in the arts has put me in a position where I believe I want to share with 3rd to 6th graders in particular my love for creativity. I think of myself as a creativity whisperer because I want to provide children with a broad foundation and expose them to all forms of creative expression. And hopefully if they want to specialize in any particular area, they will go on and do that. But by giving them this foundation, they have wonderful experiences that they can carry with them and draw upon throughout their lives. I am devastated that we are going through this pandemic, as all of you are. I do believe that children will forever live in a dual world. We have IRL and we have digital technology, and I'm hopeful that I can provide an exciting and engaging online class that will provide skills that will translate on and offline. My classes are on my website, creativity-hq.com. I will share that with you guys. And if you have any questions, please reach out. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. And next up is Molly Courtney from the Movement Lab or Movement Park.
Hang on one second, Molly. Let me just make sure I can spotlight you. Here we go.
Hello, I am Molly Courtney and I own the Movement Park, and we're located by the Hillsborough Airport across from the Intel Jones Farm campus. And the Movement Park is a parkour facility where we teach students to find their own best path and overcome obstacles in a really fun and creative way. So one of our big parts of our mission and beliefs is that parkour puts life lessons in action, and now more than ever, our children need that resilience and confidence that they can overcome any obstacles that they'll be facing this school year. So we're excited to bring a new offering to the Hillsborough and Beaverton area called the Movement Lab. And this is a program this fall to support families and the community to navigate e-learning and the obstacles that they're facing as a family. So the Movement Lab is a 10-week half-day program for students to do schoolwork, spend some time with some friends, and get some exercise. So our program provides planned activities and supplemental learning activities in a very positive environment. So no matter what the e-learning looks like for your family this fall, we will partner with you to create an environment where your children can thrive in school. And we're offering those half days, those 4-hour sessions, and each is in a small controlled group of 10 maximum students. And keeping in mind the guidelines, we're asking a 10-week commitment from families to follow along with the time frame and when the school district will also reassess their decisions about public schools. Our staff will not, we have a staff for group A and we have a staff for group B, so our groups will not be intermingling whatsoever. We're able to divide our space into 2 separate complete classrooms and movement spaces. And so you can learn more at themovementpark.com/e-learning support, or I'm always open for a Zoom call or a phone call. You can email me, molly@themovementpark.com. So our first session will start August 31st and run through November 6th.
Thank you so much, Molly. So at this point, we will take a short break and see if we have a participant to get a door prize. Sorry.
I have drawn the name Norman Lamb.
All right.
Norman, are you here?
Yep, I'm here. Thank you.
Great.
Okay, so our door prizes are books that have been donated by the Oregon Education Association retired teachers, their literacy project. And so Norman, if you can send an email to info@washingtoncountykids.org and by tomorrow at 5 with your full name and address and the grade levels and or reading level of your children. That would be appreciated. Congratulations. So next, Karina Quintanilla, could you please tell us about Adelante Mujeres?
Yes, hi everybody. My name is Karina Quintanilla. I work for Adelante Mujeres and specifically for the Chicas Program. Adelante is the only nonprofit organization in Oregon that focuses on empowering Latina women to lead. We do this by providing them with education, enterprise opportunities, and leadership training. What I'm here to talk about specifically today is our Chicas Youth Development Program. We serve young women grades 3rd through 12th in Washington County, and we partner with Hillsborough, Beaverton, and Forest Grove school districts. So we are working directly in the schools right after school. We focus on a variety of topics. Leadership is one of our big ones, but also developing a cultural identity, healthy lifestyles. We do provide some STEM opportunities and college and career readiness. This year, we will be all virtual until further notice. So we will be providing workshops through Zoom, and hopefully we'll be delivering some materials so that they can do some hands-on workshops as well. And we will be starting probably in about October this year.
Okay, thank you very much. And now Sabi Velasco will talk about Amazing Minds Child Development. And okay.
Okay. Good afternoon. My name is Sabi Velasco, and I family certified childcare. So I have 2 locations. We have preschool and school age. We serve preschool and school age, and also we're one of the programs that we award for Preschool Promise. I don't know if you're familiar about Preschool Promise. Probably Karen, she can help me and talk about Preschool Promise. But we're being awarded for 26 spots for low-income families for preschool. And one of the main focus that we focus here is the social-emotional for the kids, because I believe if the kids that are not social-emotional, I mean, they don't have that social-emotional, they're not going to doing good in the academic part. So we focus the social-emotional part. I'm getting nervous, sorry about that. This is the first time that I'm doing this. And if you have any questions, you can ask, and I will happy to answer you that. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sabi. So now Aquiles Montaz from Metropolitan Family Services, you're next. Aquiles. I think we're missing Aquiles. So we may as well go on to Tualatin Hills Park and Recreation. So I have Sabrina down here, but I understand we will have Anne from THPRD.
Yes. Hello. Good evening, everyone. I'm Ann. I'm with Tualatin Hills Parks and Recreation District, and I want to highlight quickly 3 programs that we have, 2 planned for the future and 1 that's ongoing now. Our summer camp program is ongoing until September 11th, and we're hosting outdoor camps for 6 to 12-year-olds. Some are in nature, some are in sports, some are a combination of both. For fall, THPRD is offering kindergarten through 5th grade programs. We will begin September 16th. It'll provide educational support for school learning and schoolwork, as well as our enrichment and social activities for kids in our recreation centers. We'll hold the programs Monday through Friday at Cedar Hills and Conestoga in an all-day format. And we will group the participants by age and grade, and they will stay in their stable cohorts with staff members dedicated to their group. Starting October 1st, we'll begin our preschool programs, again at several THPRD sites, Fano Farmhouse, Tualatin Hills Nature Center, and then Cedar Hills and Conestoga Recreation Centers as well. And so we're looking forward to getting back in and providing support for families in a safe and positive environment. And additional information should be available on our website in the next week at thprd.org. And thank you guys for having us.
Thank you very much. So let's now go to Club K after school, Katie Schofield.
Hi, I'm Katie Schofield. Great, and I just want to first of all say that I am a working parent and I've had a long day of Zoom calls, so if you see any of my kids pop in, they are losing their patience with mom not being 100% available, so I apologize. But I very much appreciate this opportunity to meet everyone in this digital format. We are a locally owned and operated before and after school program. We run full day programs as well as the before and after school program during the normal school years. Our mission is really just to partner with families to create a safe, reliable, academically enriching environment. And this year we've been adapting what that need is for families. And so we're trying to provide programs this fall to help families and kind of provide what they need as things change with the school environment. So this year we're actually providing 4 different programs. 3 programs are going to be on site and 1 program is going to be in a digital format. Our on-site programs we're running at 5 different locations throughout the area. So we have 1 Beaverton location, 3 Tiger Tualatin locations, and then 1 Wilsonville location at this time. We are offering a full day program, which will include comprehensive distance learning supports, as well as our typical high quality after school enrichment activities. We're also operating or offering just a school day program, which is a shorter day from 8 to 1:30. That's really focused on those comprehensive distance learning supports for families who need that additional support during the day while they're working. And then we're also offering our traditional after school enrichment program from 2 to 6 p.m. The last program I'm going to have Amanda, my colleague, talk about when I'm done telling you a little bit more about kind of our philosophy at Club K is our Digital Connections program, which we launched this summer, which is a way to connect our community of families that are no longer needing in-person care, but with more of a digital environment, both to, you know, give them new materials and talk about specific topics, as well as we have some exploration videos she'll go into a little bit more in depth about that. At Club K, our main focus in terms of kind of the child's experience is we're trying to give them opportunities to enhance their 21st century skills. We also focus on their social and emotional learning and well-being, especially throughout this time that we've been dealing with COVID-19. And we're also really focused on kind of highlighting and promoting and supporting their emergent interests. And so all of our curriculum is individualized per site based on the emerging interests of the students that are at that program. We have been operating full day programs since March at emergency license programs at 4 locations. We've been operating them safely, and we do have you know, increased safety precautions in place. We're running in stable cohorts of 10 students with 1 teacher, an AM and a PM teacher. If it's a full day program, we limit having any other staff go into that space. We have increased sanitation and cleaning methods that are in place. We have individualized activity spaces for each individual student, as well as individual activity kits, so that we're not having cross-contamination between materials. But our main focus really has been throughout the time since March, providing that safe, supportive environment for students to feel emotionally safe during a very uncertain time. So we're providing for fun activities, but just making sure all the precautions are in place to keep everybody safe and healthy as we proceed through the year and start our fall programming as well. So I'll have Amanda just give a quick update on kind of what our digital connections options are for families this fall as well.
Great, thank you, Katie. Yeah, so our Digital Connections program is an online program, as she mentioned, for families, just as an extra support in case you need some time to, families need some time to work on their own things, or they just need a break for a little bit to maybe get some work done, or do some cleaning around the house, something that you maybe don't have to help your child with. So we have a couple options there. We have our digital explorations, which is you would have access to a video every week, and they are engaging activity-based videos where our exploration guides would guide your child through an engaging activity. There's education behind it as well, some different lessons that they would learn with those. You would have access to those every week, a new video every Monday, and you would build your library so you can watch your videos whenever the time is convenient for you. And then the other option we have is our digital interactions, and those are our live interactive classes We do limit them to 10 students. They are held through Zoom. And those happen once a week for 45 minutes for a 4-week topic-focused session. Right now, we're currently offering 3 interactive sessions, and we will be opening registration for our September sessions next week. So you can go to our Club K Digital Connections website for that information.
Okay, thank you so much. So Aiko, you want to talk now about champions?
I would love to. Hi, everyone. My name is Aiko. I'm a program manager with Champions. Typically, we also run extended learning programs, so before and after and out of school times. During this time, we have had essential care programs nationwide, and some of the first ones in our programming has happened right here in Beaverton. And I've had the pleasure of being trained with the OHSU infectious disease personnel and sanitation so that we can make sure that our cleaning practices during this time before all this kicks off in March are top notch. And since then, Champions has partnered with pediatricians and advisors on creating safe and healthy programs for your kids. Right now, we have a fairly large summer program that's running very successfully with our small and stable cohorts. And so what it'll look like in the fall is during the day, we will support distance learning for our school age kids, K through 5, or 6 if you're in the Hillsborough area. And actually, I was just on a call today, and we have developed this amazing system to help you connect with us and help us connect with the teacher to make sure that we have everything that your kiddo needs in order to be successful during the day. And we also have a robust curriculum. Our programs are accredited, and our curriculum is a really big component of that. And it breaks everything up into 2-week units and hits content areas like creative expression, community skills, STEM, of course. And another thing that I'm proud of in our education team is we have a whole inclusion team, and their sole purpose is to help all of our kiddos, diagnosis or not, to make sure that they can succeed in our programs. And something that I'm also really proud of is right now, understanding that we are in this exceptional time, our education team has crafted a curriculum specifically for the first 2 weeks, or a few weeks actually, that hone in on the social emotional skills for our kids. They've been uprooted from their routines. They're going to have to make some new friends. They can't share. And we're navigating an entirely new daily structure, and that's super hard for them, and we get that. So we're here to support them in all those ways, health and safety, distance learning, emotional wellness, and throughout that whole time, we're committed to inquiry-based and play-based learning, and we're just gonna have a blast. The kids are gonna have an amazing time. And right now, as we kind of go into our fall prep, we're focusing a lot on our professional development for our staff as well, making sure that our staff are feeling supported and confident so that they can make sure that your kids are in a resilient environment and prepared to bring them into a fall that is new but excellent. So if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them. I also have my manager here to answer some questions as well. And I'd be happy to share some resources, some philosophy on our whole child wellness, a little bit of our educational pedagogy, and I have a lot about our health and safety practices as well. So thanks for having me.
Thank you so much. So Eliseo Flores has volunteered to tell you a little bit about Centro Cultural's program as well. So we'll let him do that. And so Eliseo, you're on.
Awesome, thank you. So my name is Eliseo Flores. I am the Youth Development Manager at Centro Cultural. For those of you who don't really know Centro too much, we're based over in Cornelius. So just like a brief history of that would just be that Centro Cultural of Washington County, we've served Latino families for with an ever-growing range of programs designed to create self-sufficient, engaged, and active citizens. We recognize that everyone, regardless of their income or document status, are vital to our economy and a part of the social fabrics of Oregon. And here at Centro, we do have a lot of programs ranging from art and culture to civic leadership and advocacy, as well as community wellness. The one that I'm going to focus the most on, though, is youth development, just because I know that's what you all are here for. So to start off, I'd like to talk about our Lego robotics program, which is for grades 2 all the way up to, or excuse me, second all the way up to 12th grade. And the range of difficulty really just differentiates as your student progresses through the program. Centro's Lego robotic program gives students from underserved backgrounds the opportunity to grapple with diverse and complex problems. The concept behind the Lego robotics promotes systems thinking. It encourages collaboration and exercises critical thinking. And our program emphasizes the importance of software and hardware leadership, as well as communication and written communication as well. The next program that I'd also like to talk about is our regional MESA. So Centro is the regional MESA center. We partner with Portland University MESA program and serve as the West Side Regional Center to coordinate with 6 schools in Washington County. Our education coordinator works with the teachers from these schools to facilitate high quality STEM programs for our middle school and high school students. And then the final program that I'd just like to go over is our summer STEAM camp. STEAM stands for Science, Technology, Engineering, Arts, and Math. That is currently going on. Actually, it started at the beginning of August and it's running all the way till the end of August. So August 28th is our final date. We're still taking registrations for that. Late registrations are completely welcome. Basically, Centro has provided educational after-school programs as well as summer programs for Latino youth in our community for decades. And our programs aim to supplement and reinforce what youth learn in schools while providing opportunities to explore new and exciting subjects. And so the way this kind of is running, it's a completely virtual platform. Monday through Thursday, we have pre-recorded videos via YouTube. And so we hand out supplies and materials at the beginning. Whenever the student registers, we hand them the supplies as well for the entire program. And then throughout the program, as I said, Monday through Thursday, they get the YouTube video. And then on Fridays, they actually get a live session with an industry professional, whether that be someone from the Portland Art Museum, people from Tualatin and Riverkeepers have also been able to set up presentations and activities for our students, Girl Scouts, Intel, and the list kind of goes on from there. So we're really encouraging and trying to highlight that program the most right now, just because it is going on and we'd love to have your student register today. So if you need any more information on that, if you have any questions, feel free to contact me. I will leave my email in the chat box. Or you can go to our website, which is just centrocultural.org, and scroll over to the programs tab, and you can learn more about our programs there. Thank you so much for being here tonight, and I'll hand it back over to Katie.
Thank you very much. So now we have still books that are available, and so we're going to draw a winner from our providers for tonight. So Shari.
Okay, using a random number generator, we have selected one of our providers, Aiko.
So yay. So send an email to info@washingtoncountykids.org if there's a particular age group you want to have, or a grade level that you'd like to have a book for. Let me know, and we'll see how we can work that out.
Awesome,
Okay.
thank you.
Yeah, and thank you so much to the OEA retired teachers. We really appreciate their generosity, and also to all of you for participating. I'm thinking at this point, since we have a little bit of time, before we go into Q&A, Carrie, do you want to talk a little bit about 211 info? Okay, go ahead.
Hi. So I'm with 211 Info. 211 Info is a phone number. You dial 211, similar to 411 or 311, 911. And we provide information and referrals throughout the state of Oregon. One of the programs that we have in the state of Oregon is providing childcare referrals to families who need childcare. And so families are welcome to give us a call, text, or email us. And I can provide my information. I think there was a slide earlier, so we'll.
There is a slide earlier, yeah.
Yeah, and I think the information will be sent out as well after this webinar. But basically, families give us a call. They can text us. They can email us for referrals. We go through a list of questions. We find out the age of their children, what time and days they need childcare, if children have special needs, if families are receiving any kind of financial assistance from DHS. We're able to find childcare providers that are willing to accept the DHS subsidy or willing to go through the paperwork and the background check process. And we provide referrals to families. Yeah, so I'm trying to think. Oh, and so the other thing is currently with the state of emergency, childcare providers must be following emergency guidelines to be in our database. And so we refer to licensed providers and then also license exempt providers, but all the providers that we have in our database do need to be following the emergency guidelines currently. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so very much. So now, does anybody have any questions? And providers could ask questions as well. Okay, and then—
I have a question actually, if that's all right.
Go for it.
For the movement lab, are there any adult classes? Because parkour does sound really awesome to try out.
The movement lab is for children and e-learning support, but the movement park is a parkour facility, yes. So we have both. We have the e-learning during the day, and then we have parkour classes at night and on Saturdays. So yes, we service all ages. We'd love to have adults come play with us.
Great. Anybody else? Okay, so we want to encourage everybody to fill out the evaluation that you're going to be sent. They're very short questions. There's only about 4 questions on the evaluation form. Very easy to do, and it really helps us do better in the future. We want to thank the organizations that provided handouts that are going to participants, and that's Creativity HQ and Math Gamers. These are handouts of fun activities that can be done in the family. And we might want to send those out to our providers as well. So you all have a copy of those.
Sure.
And just thank you for your participation tonight. And if you want any more information about Washington County Kids or want to get in touch with us, feel free to send emails to info@washingtoncountykids.org. And our website, we want to make sure that we have information about all the programs you've heard about tonight. And hopefully we'll be updating those as needed as well. So thank you so very much.
And thank you, Martha.
Yeah, and thanks to Martha as well. All right. And so with that, we will end our session.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Good night. Have a great evening.
Thank you.